All right, here we go. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Happy Friday. What a weird, crazy week. Just hard to get your bearings.
I hate it.
It was a really weird week. Yeah, I mean, just with the storm coming in, school being out, all kinds of chaos. Today, Bird had a doctor's appointment, so he's already bounced. So he out. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's one of those days. You get all kinds of crazy curveballs. I mean, I was saying, well, at least the weather's going to be nice, and now it's like pouring outside.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm shortchanged. Whenever they say you have a great weather forecast coming, I got myself all fired up for sunshine and great temperatures, and then it's just crap again.
Well, we earned it.
Yeah.
After everything we went through,
Right.
we earned a nice weekend, and they told us we were getting one.
Yeah.
Lies.
I agree. I mean, it just does not feel like it's fair. It doesn't feel right. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Got John in Fort Lauderdale said, thank you guys for being on the air Wednesday and Thursday, although it was greatly appreciated. Next time, please stay home and be safe with your families. We'll all be here when you get back.
We don't have the choice.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we revolted, I think we could. But to me, I consider it to be a privilege that we get to be able to do this. And honestly, I think it's one of the really cool things that radio still does, that you can listen to your podcasts and all that, but they're typically not going to be live. They're not going to be interactive, and they're not going to be talking about what's going on in your town.
And that's the thing about radio. It was initially set up, and that's why it's controlled by the federal government, because it's supposed to be a place for information and help. If you have no other way to get information and help, you can have a battery powered radio in your house, and you can still get information and help. And I know not a lot of people have a battery powered radio in their house anymore, but during hurricane season, I pull mine out every year. I've got two, battery powered big one, and then I've got a battery powered crank one that even if the battery dies, I can hand crank it and at least listen to the radio if everything else has failed and if every battery is dead. I can still hand crank it and listen to the radio.
And that's what it's there for.
That's what radio is supposed to do as a service to the community.
Right. It's one of the few mediums, when you think about all the different platforms you have now for your entertainment, it's one of the few, it and TV, that care about you, that actually are interactive and are there for your well-being. Everything else, you think about all your social media sites, your TikTok don't give a damn about you. You are nothing but a utility to them. That's all it is. They don't care.
Utility to manipulate.
They don't care if you live, die, go crazy from using their app. They don't care. They're just there to use you for money. At least these two are there saying, okay, we are here. We understand our objective. First and foremost, we're there for the community to do things. So, like I said, to me, it's a privilege to be able to be here, and I'm happy that we could. I didn't think we were going to have the opportunity. That was my only thing. I thought that we were going to be in the TV coverage with true meteorologists that know what they're talking about until 10 a.m., and so that was the only thing for me, was the curveball of, okay, no, you're actually on 6.
Yeah, I think the bad stuff happened the day before we thought the bad stuff was going to happen. It was weird.
It's one of those storms where it will rewrite the books. It has completely wiped out my perceptions of storms in many different ways. Just those tornadoes, just unbelievable. Now, we were talking about this earlier, and people were saying, okay, it was just a perfect storm of it, and I get that, but now it's always in the back of your head that this could happen again. Just insane.
Right.
12 tornadoes hit St. Lucie County, 5 fatalities, 38 confirmed within the state, 126 tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service. That's just all crazy. And then that one tornado, I guess they've confirmed, that went down in Avenir, West Palm Beach Gardens, that it was an EF3, 136 to 165 mile per hour winds. And Ryan in Western Lake Worth, he said, I remember you guys having a conversation once about, you don't need to put up hurricane shutters if you got the stormproof windows. And when I was watching the live helicopter feed over Wellington, Western Palm Beach Gardens, I noticed the newer homes with the stormproof windows had their windows blown out by confirmed EF3 tornado.
Yeah, I mean, they're not supposed to protect you from a tornado. They're hurricane windows. They're not tornado windows.
Yeah. So when you're talking about a wind that could be up to 165 miles per hour, you know, you're talking at 155, that's the category 5 wind speed on the hurricane scale, that you are going above that. So, yeah, I guess if you have the hurricane windows and you get what they just had, that's not going to do you any good.
I think it's the pressure, too, that has something to do with why the windows blow out. And the projectiles and just, I mean, there's just so much. In a tornado, I'm not up on the tornado. I don't know enough about the tornado. I feel like we all know a good bit about hurricanes, but I am not up on the tornado. The tornado does not give a shit.
Right. Yeah, so I think there's some new perceptions. Now, one point Ryan brings up, he said, you know, they always talk about making sure that your car is filled with gas. But I saw that one car that landed in somebody's living room, and if that had a full tank of gas, couldn't it have blown up? You know, so I don't know if that's the right move. Maybe you just need to keep your gas and put it somewhere else and not in your car.
I guess there's really no way to plan for, if you're going to have a hurricane and a tornado at the same time, like we kind of did, you just have to prepare for the unexpected because you don't know how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I just think that's it. I mean, if you get what you're going to get, you're just screwed. I don't know that we have anything yet. We're not there. And that's why it'll be interesting to see how this rewrites the planning in the future. I
don't think any home could withstand a dumpster, a huge dumpster dropping on the top of it. Like that is no window, no roof, no nothing is going to be able to protect against that. That's not even playing by the rules.
The one thing that I have learned from it, though, is knowing that the lower right-hand quadrant of a storm is more prone to the wicked tornadoes. So if you see a storm coming at the trajectory that Milton did, that's bad for us. So keep in mind, if it were hitting, for instance, the East Coast dead on, then I would think if that's the way it goes, it would be more if you're in the Carolinas and whatnot, or a little bit north of wherever that tornado is. So when you flip it around, though, it came in on that southern quadrant, and that's why we were prone to it. Plus, they say that the wind shear and its trajectory just created these ideal conditions for what we got tornado-wise.
I never want to go through that again. That was debilitatingly stressful.
Well, it's just insane because there's just, I mean, that's it. There's no...
Your brain can't keep up with all the tornado warnings at once.
Well, I don't think if you have that, you saw, you know, Sheriff Rick Bradshaw was talking about in Wellington. He said it looked like somebody dropped a bomb, and if you saw the footage, it did. It's just kablooey. I don't know what... You get an EF3 over your house, I don't know that there's anything on the market right now that's, you know, saving you from that. So... You know, Robbie said, yeah, the homes that were made out of cinder blocks got crushed. So, yeah, I don't know what you do. Now, do we start building for EF3s?
Those were new construction homes.
Right, I know, which is what's even more insane.
The people just signed the paperwork. It was a couple. They just bought the house. Yeah. It wasn't finished. Like they just moved into new construction.
Yeah, Yasik said, yeah, I just don't think these window manufacturers have anything for tornadoes yet. And so this is a, hey, guys, we got to start thinking because this could be a new reality. Now, you know, hey, look, they say, oh, this is a once in a lifetime. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard once in a lifetime stuff. I'm tired of hearing that. This is the first time ever.
The thing is, they don't know. You have a bunch of people that are human, just like you, that make mistakes, just like you, that are guessing. If that was once in a lifetime. We hope it was. But what if it starts happening like all the time?
Yeah.
But the last hurricane that we got in the middle of the night, I remember 2 a.m. waking up and watching the news with Panda, who was glued to it. And they were doing the same thing they did for Milton, which was, oh my gosh, there's a tornado on the ground right now in this community. And then they would tell you on WPBF, they would tell you it's going to be in Jupiter Farms in 10 minutes. It's going to be in Tequesta in 15 minutes. Like they were giving you a countdown to when it was going to be in your neighborhood. And this was not the first time they did this. They did this at the last one that hit in the middle of the night that we went through this. I can't remember which storm it was or which named one it was, but is this a new trend? That's my question.
Yeah, there are new trends, and it's kind of getting used to. We've heard this a lot too. The new normal.
The new normal. Are we now going to have to be afraid of tornadoes from here out because that's just what these hurricanes bring with them now?
Well, if it comes at that trajectory towards us, I would say yes. So that's what I have learned, that if you see a hurricane that is coming from the Gulf into the West Coast like that, be ready because we could be seeing that again. Now, that could be happening more often because that's another new normal, a trend that I'm having to get used to, is seeing storms that are starting right there in the Gulf and taking off and getting that strong.
Several
that fast.
of them. We've had several this year.
It used to be we watched everything on, the west coast of Africa, and then we watched it go across the Atlantic, and now it's in fact, the other thing Ryan sent in here, it is it's a map here with like central pressure and water temperatures. And you can see when you get to the red, you're right there ready to make a storm. We got 4 or 5 big old dots right there that is just south of, one is just a little bit north of Cuba, and then the rest are south as you get down in there, the Yucatan Peninsula. So it looks like, we're not out of hurricane season yet, and you've got conditions that are ripe in 4 or 5 different spots that if it says, you know what, maybe they could, let's whip up another one. Let's just see what happens, right? Yeah. So, yeah, never say never, especially a year like this. So it's pretty crazy.
We need to figure out how to manufacture that Saharan dust. Because at least if it's true, what the meteorologists were saying was that was the reason the front end of the hurricane season was so mild, was because of the Saharan dust. Well, can we make some Saharan dust?
Well, this is the thing. When Earth seems to be attacking back at you, it requires innovation, and we need our best minds to try to figure out what we can do to make our buildings stronger, how we're going to be doing things, how can we manipulate the weather or anything? Is there anything at all that can be done? If you can seed a cloud, can you unseed a cloud somehow?
Right.
So, who knows, but it will be an interesting discussion, and there's a lot of things that they're going to have to sort out here. Now, the one thing I'm curious about is what about the homeowners insurance industry? Now, if there's anything good, I was reading that Hurricane Helene, the one before what we just got with Milton, is not expected to strain our homeowner insurance industry. And the reason being is that where Helene hit, it wasn't as densely populated.
Yes, the armpit of Florida. If you have less people and you have less structures, you have less damage, less claims.
$21 billion in insured losses from the rural Big Bend area. But apparently that's a good number that they can work with, $21 billion.
Okay. That seems insane.
Does kind of seem insane. But it was $21 billion in insured losses. And they say they're expected to be the resulting insured losses between $3 to $5 billion. They say that part is manageable. So part of it, too, a lot of people in that area, they don't think has insurance.
Oh.
And so that's not going to affect the insurance company. If they don't have it, it's not going to be out on us.
Those poor people.
Yeah. And the big thing now to look at is what's happening with storm surge. Now, that's one of the biggest parts of some of these storms that are being so powerful. And only about 20% of Florida homeowners have flood insurance. And so your insurance, if you don't have that, doesn't cover it. It does like the wind damage and some stuff like that. But yeah, if you get
roof tiles.
Yeah. Right, you get storm surge and your house floods. Yeah, sorry. And you're, wait a minute, this is a hurricane. Yeah, but you don't have flood insurance.
They wanted an extra $700 to add it to my policy. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know. They wanted it all up front.
So I guess we'll have to see what happens with Milton, which, came in Sarasota and went through. There is probably a little bit more population there than the Big Bend area. But, yeah, what they had down here with the tornadoes, what is that going to be in damages? So, yeah, we'll see. Mama Magic asked about the Tampa Hospital's water wall. I didn't see any footage of that. That wasn't what we got. I think there were other visuals that grabbed, like the Tropicana Field that got the roof blown off, or the crane that came down in St. Pete, or old Lieutenant Dan on his dang sailboat in Tampa Bay. Those are a lot of the images that I saw.
I saw images yesterday of about 8 feet of sand in people's houses, like
Oh, okay.
6 to 8 feet of sand. And then the news reporter was just walking up next to the house and they're like eye level with the roof.
Right.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
How are you going to clean that?
No, that's insane. The number one, to me, the biggest image has to be the waste management dumpster on top of the house.
I agree.
I think that's your overall number one. And then just some of the cars that were just flipped around.
Tossed.
There was one person, he couldn't find his car.
Oh, my God.
He's flying around. Yeah,
Where'd it go?
He doesn't know. He can't find it. He's walking around the neighborhood. He's like, you can't find it. You don't know where it is.
I don't know if you saw our old producer, Heather. She had her Ring doorbell pick up a tornado that blew out her neighbor's windows and messed up her yard like heavily. She went walking outside and yeah, all of her neighbor's windows are blown out.
Did she know if they had hurricane force windows?
In the car?
In the car.
Yeah, it was a car. It was a car.
Okay.
It's a car windows.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah, I guess we don't do hurricane in the cars yet.
No. But
Might have to. You
get
never
a Hummer.
know. Never say never.
Get a tank.
Never say never. So, yeah, so it's kind of interesting. We'll see. Hopefully we start getting back to normal here quick and we don't have to think about any more storms because I'm really over it.
Yeah,
I'm
this
sure
this one took us back a step.
it is, and God bless anybody who's been through it. Some of those people that got hit twice, I can't imagine. That's got to push you to the edge of humanity, right?
Totally.
Where you're just like, I can't help God. I can't deal with this anymore. All right. Well, I know some people are hopefully going to get out, and I'm hoping that they don't go back on the nice forecast that we have for tomorrow, because I'm really wanting to see some sunshine, to be able to walk outside and be like, Florida's beautiful. I haven't been able to do that for a little while.
Give us a nice day. We've earned it.
And Patty is hoping to get out, and she said, my boyfriend wants to take me out to dinner tonight, somewhere I can wear a dress. We live in Hobe Sound. Can you recommend somewhere kind of fancy but not too expensive for us to have a night out? Trust me, we need it. Yeah, I think a lot of people this weekend need to go have a little bit of fun.
The new Sophia's right there in Hobe Sound. They just flipped it and opened it. I was just there the other night, and it's really, really, really nice. Ask for an inside table. Make your reservation early because it does fill up. But Sophia's in Hobe Sound is very cute.
Okay. So that's, there you go. Virginia knows. That's your neighborhood.
It is.
Okay. So Sophia's, that is your place there, Patty. You have massive plans this weekend, Virginia. I know you've got galas going on
I
tonight,
do.
tomorrow, so you're going to be in it, huh?
Tonight is Tyler Cameron's gala up in Jupiter at the Pelican Club. Tomorrow is Maddies Fight Foundation's gala. Maddie was one of our Little Smiles stars many years ago that sadly lost her battle to bone cancer, but her family took the money that people had raised for her and they started a foundation to help other families going through what they went through. And so where Little Smiles does like gifts and toys and fun experiences and things to help kids smile, Maddie's Fight Foundation does money and cash and gives families going through childhood cancer money to pay their mortgage or pay their power bill,
Right.
or both. And so it's a beautiful thing what Maddie's mom and dad and sister and aunts and uncles and everybody has put together in her honor. And so this is what would have been her 18th birthday party that we are doing on Saturday. Tickets still available at maddiesfight.org. And I think tickets are available for Tyler's as well.
Okay. So you're
Yeah.
going to see Tyler Cameron and drool all over him
You
in person?
can. He'll be walking around, taking selfies and talking to everybody,
All
girls.
his famous little influencer friends.
Yes, every year I'm surprised by the star power that shows up.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, he's got a lot of friends in high places. Exact opposite of us. If you're looking for other stuff to do, might just be you staying inside, chilling out, and binging some stuff. Outer Banks, you said you checked out the first 2 episodes, and if you've liked Outer Banks on Netflix so far, this delivers.
It does. It's exactly what Outer Banks does so well. Cheesy and predictable, but It's got me invested already, just 2 episodes in. I love the storyline. I love what the kids have going on. I love the Pogues. I love Pogelandia.
Yeah.
I'm so into the Pogues.
No, honestly, it's mindless, and you're so often you're watching it going, okay, this wouldn't happen, or this is kind of stupid, but you don't mind it.
No,
Like,
you
it's
don't.
all right.
It's not probable that all of this could happen or would happen, but it's a fun ride.
It's kind of like eating a McDonald's. You're like, it's probably isn't good for me, but you know what? I'm kind of having a good time, so I'm going to stick with it.
Amen.
Yeah. Other things to check out. I've heard about that Bad Monkey. That is the Vince Vaughn show that is out. I'm intrigued by that. And this looks like it could be good, too. Almost cut from the same cloth. HBO is going to be launching an irreverent comedy series. It's Florida, man. Danny McBride's Rough House Pictures is going to do it. He's done a lot of those kind of funny things on HBO, Eastbound and Down. It's going to be premiering next week, next Friday.
Okay.
With a 6-episode first season. And it's going to basically just talk about all the crazy things happening in Florida. Mermaids, witches, feral bunnies, alligators. So it's everything insane we have in this state.
Feral bunnies.
Yeah.
When bunnies attack.
Right. Yeah, I think that could be really good. And then Netflix has renewed The Night Agent for season 3. They haven't even gotten season 2 out yet. That's kind of decent. That's on Netflix. It's not amazing, but it's not a bad ride. And same thing with Reacher on Amazon. I kind of like that. They've greenlit season 4 ahead of season 3's release. It's based on those books. It's this massive mountain of a man that used to be in the military, and he kind of just is a nomad going from town to town, but then he just beats the hell out of bad guys. They had Tom Cruise play it in the movies when he did the Reacher movie.
Okay.
But it was so miscast because they did books. And the book calls for a guy that's huge. He's tall. He's jacked. And you're just watching the Tom Cruise movies.
Like, wait a minute.
So if you read the book, you're like, I can't wrap my brain around this.
What, Jason Momoa was busy?
Yeah, I don't know why they put Tom Cruise. I'm sure infused himself in that, wanted to be the badass. But
He probably bought the rights, and he's the producer.
It's like, dude, you're 5'7".
On a good day.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's like 6'7". It's a little off. And I'm not surprised by this. Netflix has renewed the Kristen Bell, Adam Brody series. Nobody wants this already for a second season.
Chemistry, Kevin.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying it.
Yep. It is #1 globally, 90 million hours of viewing in its first 11 days.
I think everybody has chemistry with her. She's just so likable.
Yeah, she seems. There are some people that you look at and you're like, they would be really hard to get along with, and then other people that just seem like anybody could get along. She seems like one of those people that could be cool enough that about anybody could get along with her.
Yeah, a doll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. That's a few things to check out. And there's also somebody, I don't know much about him. I think he's a much bigger name than I'm. In a sense, I hate to. Not give him the credit he's deserved, but the Nate Bargatze, he was the guy that was on SNL last week. He does that skit where he's George Washington, and he was talking about, when we have this great land, we're going to have a special word for the number 12. We'll call it dozen. And then his soldiers like going, are there going to be other numbers that have a special word? He's like, no, just 12. And it's just all these dumb things.
That is funny.
It's like, George Washington established this country just for these random things. And we'll have 2 different words that we spell differently, like donut. Would it be in it? No, just donut. Yeah, so that's kind of his whole thing. He's got a special coming up on Netflix. He's going to be doing a stand-up deal with them. That's going to be coming out in the next year. So when you sign that Netflix stand-up deal, that usually is a ton of money. So good for him. And if you're looking to get something more than just Netflix, Amazon Prime Video is soon going to be offering Apple TV as a bundled option for subscribers and an additional $10 a month. Does that feel like a good deal for you?
A bundle for an additional $10 a month with what?
Apple TV.
With Apple TV.
Yeah. There's a few things on Apple TV.
That's intriguing. Don't you love the morning show on there?
I do.
And you've said great things about it.
That's a solid show. Yeah, there's a few. I feel like there's enough for $10 a month.
All right, I could get down with that, but they're going to raise it. They trick you. They get you on the initial $10 a month, and you're like, $10, all right. And then next year, it'll be $25.
Yeah, and then it feels like them when they get you on one network, somehow they split into two. Like Paramount will now, they'll just throw a plus behind it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're a whole thing. It's like, we're NBC. No, we have Peacock. You're like, why do you?
Oh, you're peacocking. Your cock's all right.
Can't we all just put all this in one? I don't really understand that.
They can't.
No, they can't. No, they're just trying to jack you up, man. I see what's going on. And Ariana Grande is going to be hosting SNL this weekend with musical guest Stevie Nicks. Will you be watching?
That sounds good. I mean, I'll be at Maddies Gala, so I won't be watching, but I will probably tape that.
I think a lot of people are annoyed by her, but I think Ariana Grande is wildly talented.
She is wildly talented. She's not super likable right now, especially with the breaking up of the marriage. That the guy had a new baby, and the optics
she
on that.
She steps in it, the licking donuts thing. Yeah, she may be a terrible person, but I think she's talented.
Yes, extremely talented.
If that makes sense. So just put that on your radar. Boca Raton's very own hosting SNL this weekend. Kim said, hey, since it's October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, do they have free mammograms at places? I know usually you have a commercial for it, but I haven't heard anything yet, and I need to get one. You know anything about that?
I haven't heard, but there are places like Susan G. Komen and other breast cancer research and breast cancer charities locally that you can reach out to and say, hey, can I get into your program where uninsured and women that maybe don't have the money or the means for the mammogram can go and it's covered by the charities? I know that that's been a thing in the past where they didn't want money to be the reason that women weren't getting mammograms. So if you don't have the funds and you don't have insurance, a lot of these breast cancer charities were offering free mammograms or vouchers for mammograms or places you could go and get them.
It feels like they should or would.
They should.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
They really, really should. So reach out to those if that's bad information and they've changed their policy and they don't do that anymore. I'm sorry, but I think they should.
Mama Magic said mobile mammograms are free.
Oh.
Okay.
I think the mobile mammogram van is going to be here at our work sometime soon.
Okay.
Because they were talking about that.
Okay.
Can anybody just come to it and they can come to our work and do it?
Yeah, if anybody has that information, let us know. Because if there's definitely a place to get free mammograms, we'd like to let everybody know about that.
Absolutely.
And Catherine sent this. I guess this is something to be aware of. The higher a woman's exposure to artificial light at night, the higher her breast cancer risk. So I guess and it says the higher a woman's UV light exposure from the sun, the lower her breast cancer risk. So they're talking about the fact they have a photo. If you're sitting there staring at your phone with that blue light all night long, that's increasing your cancer risk. You go out and get a little bit of UV from the sun, that lowers it.
That makes sense. I mean, we're not meant to be looking at these phones all day. They've got us because they've manipulated our brains.
Wouldn't it kind of the way that anything that's natural, it seems to be like, okay, weird how that works, right? Anything that's organic, natural, it's good for us. Anything that we've made, it pretty much is killing us, right?
You're a creation that is an animal, and there's things that help you be healthy, and there's things that help you be not healthy.
Right.
The phone, this is not healthy.
Yeah.
But the sun, a little bit of it in moderation, outside with your feet in nature, that's what we're meant to do.
Yep. That's what we're meant to do. So there you go. All right, well, thank you for all the emails. Mail at kvjshow.com. Make sure you go and vote for our KVJ draft over the weekend for the best R&B artists and groups. We'll have that winner coming up on Monday at about 7:35. And hopefully you have a good weekend, Virginia.
Thank you. I'm switching up my beard. based on my events. I'll be wearing different beards for different galas.
That's great. Okay,
But I will be wearing a beard all weekend.
For people want to know.
People sent emails to our boss, David. They were like, if she doesn't wear a beard, I'm never listening again. And she should be fired.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to wear the beard. I'm going to switch it up, though. I'm going to wear a country beard for Tyler's Gala
That's
tonight. Has a country theme. So
That's
I'm
good.
going with a Western beard.
Yeah.
For Maddies Gala, it's a Sweet 18 beard. So I'm going to make me like a colorful beard with like rainbow sparkles in
I
it.
think it's a good look. That's good.
If you can't beat them, join them.
That's right. That's all you can do. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend. I hope you get a little bit of good weather in there, and best to everybody that's dealing with anything from those tornadoes, from the hurricane or the storm itself. Y'all find some peace this weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Goodbye.